Hey guys, I thought I would do a twist on History Maker Baseball today. What I've done is I have taken a shot at and completed my first attempt at homebrew baseball cards made for History Maker Baseball using the how-to guide that I purchased from play.com that goes in a little more detail than what's in the actual instructions. And what I did is I created, at least to the best of my abilities, the 1984 Detroit Tigers and the 1984 San Diego Padres. So with the World Series going on, although I may not post this video till well after the Mets and Royals finish up, I thought I would go ahead and try to play Game 1 of the 1984 World Series and see how my homebrew turns out. And see if the ratings seem legitimate and how I did as far as my ratings, as far as my opinions, that maybe some things that weren't in the exact numbers, just from my memory of these players growing up, maybe giving them an extra boost on a range or maybe taking away a little bit on their range if I thought they were not so good. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a try. Hopefully this will turn out okay. You can be the judge of that, and we'll get going here from Jack Murphy very shortly. Okay guys, we're ready for Game 1. I've got the photograph of Jack Murphy Stadium here to replace the board that came with the game, just to give it a little extra boost. I am using the actual starting lineups for both teams, and also I managed to pull the umpire cards from the 1977 set. And all four that were working the bases in Game 1 were umpires in 77, so I was able just to pull their cards out of the 77 set, and we'll be using those, even though they say 77 on them. I think the qualities that were on there are still valid. And we'll go right to the starting lineups for this ball game. Leading off for Detroit will be second baseman Lou Whitaker. Batting second is the shortstop Alan Trammell. Batting third is right fielder Kirk Gibson. Batting cleanup is the catcher Lance Parrish. Hitting fifth is the left fielder Larry Herndon. Batting sixth is Barbaro Garvey, not to be confused with Steve Garvey for the Padres. It's Barbaro Garvey is how it's pronounced. Hitting in the seventh slot is Chet Lemon. Hitting eighth is the first baseman Darrell Evans. And batting ninth and playing third base is Marty Castillo. And on the mound for the Tigers in Game 1 is Jack Morris. For the Padres, it'll be Alan Wiggins leading off at second base. Tony Gwynn hits second in right field. Steve Garvey, not to be confused with Barbaro Garvey, is hitting third and playing first base. Greg Nettles hits cleanup at third base. Terry Kennedy is catching and will hit fifth. Bobby Brown is the center fielder. He's taking the place of the injured Kevin McReynolds, and he will be hitting in the sixth position. Carmelo Martinez bats seventh in left field. Gary Templeton will be the shortstop and hit eighth. And batting ninth, the designated hitter Kurt Bavacqua. And on the mound is left-hander Mark Thurmond. So what I'm going to do here, since this is just a random game, I need to figure out who is going to be the hot and cold player. So what I've decided to do is roll 2 D6s for each team and go down the batting order. So in other words, if I roll a 4, then Lance Parrish, the fourth hitter, would be the hot batter. And if I say roll an 11, then it would be Lou Whitaker, because I would go, it would be Trammell, because I would go down the first 9 and then start over the order again. 10 and 11 will be Trammell. So that's how I'm going to do it. It's not scientific, but it's just something I thought I'd try to do and see if it worked out. So this is for the hot batter, and then as soon as I finish the hot batter, I'm going to do the same thing for the cold batter. So this is for Detroit. So we'll see what kind of roll we get. For the hot batter, it's an 8. It's an 8. So the 8th place hitter is Darrell Evans. So I'm going to mark on the score sheet that Darrell Evans is the designated hot batter for Detroit. All right, now we go for the cold batter. And the cold batter is a 12. Well, we've got Castilla is 9, Whitaker is 10. 11 is Trammell. So Gibson, 12, is the cold batter, is Kirk Gibson. Now we'll do the same thing for the Padres, and we'll see how that works out. The roll is a 9, and that is Kurt Bavacqua, the 9th place hitter. He will be the hot hitter in this game, and we'll see who the cold batter is. It is a roll of 8, and the cold batter is Gary Templeton, who hits right in front of him. All right, so that part is taken care of. We've got starting lineups out of the way. And let's meet the umpiring crew, and this is how the umpiring crew was in Game 1 of the series, and they're at each base according to the way they were on the series. At home plate is Doug Harvey. Umpiring at first is Larry Barnett. Umpiring at second is Bruce Fremming. And umpiring at third is Rich Garcia. See, we got our board here with the lineups. Jack Morris and Lou Whitaker. Mark Thurman and Alan Wiggins. We've got the Padre bullpen and bench. And we've got the Tiger bullpen and bench. Got our card here. And this is the History Maker how-to guide. I don't want to give away too many secrets because they sell these, but that's what I used to do that, and it gives a little bit more details that narrows down how you determine who's a star, who's a semi-workman, and so forth. And so I found that to be pretty useful. It was some work getting these two teams together. It took me a while, and I had done them a long time ago. Actually, just never got around to playing a game. So now we're going to play a game with them and finally get the fruit of the labor there. So we'll go ahead and get started. And leading off for the Tigers is Lou Whitaker. And actually, I've got these in reverse order. Let me move this real quick and make sure that the players are in the right position, because they should be underneath the pitcher they are facing. So here we go. Now I've gotten it right. Well, these things stick to the board on these pictorial boards here. Okay, now I'm straight. Lou Whitaker is facing Mark Thurman. And the way I calculated Lou Whitaker in 1984, I've got him as a hero, a semi-slugger, semi-patient, and a semi-whiffer. Mark Thurman I've got as an ace, a star, a double flash, and control, based on his numbers. All right, here is the first pitch of the 1984 World Series, Mark Thurman to Lou Whitaker. And the roll is a 156. 156 says it's blank for the pitcher. But what I did, and I mentioned this on a post on the forum, is anytime I wanted to add a little bit more lefty-righty splits into the game, left-right splits other than the 3-5-6 roll. So I have predetermined that any pitcher spot that is blank is going to also mirror the 3-5-6 roll of the same. So in this case, Mark Thurman is left-handed. He is facing Lou Whitaker, who is left-handed. So therefore, it is a strikeout with that left versus right matchup. That's what I'm going to experiment with and see how it plays out. So Whitaker is a strikeout victim. Had he not been a strikeout victim, had I not used that little side homebrew rule, we would have gone to the next batter and it would have asked if he was a whiffer. And the whiffer quality is semi-whiffer, but the decider die says no. So that would have ended up being outfield drama. But anytime it's a blank, I'm experimenting, like I said, and it is a strikeout for Lou Whitaker. So, one away, and that'll bring up Alan Trammell, and we'll see what Trammell can do. The roll is a 2-3-4. 2-3-4 states runners on base. No, there's no runners on base. Hot batter, no. So it's a pop out to third. So Trammell pops out to Greg Nettles for out number 2. Quickly 2 away for the Tigers, and that'll bring up Kirk Gibson. Kirk Gibson, who would 4 years later be the hero of Game 1 in his own right for the Dodgers. Here is the roll. It is a 1-2-3. 1-2-3 asks, is he both flash and fresh? Talking about Thurman. He's a double flash, so he's certainly a flash, and it's the first inning, so he's fresh. So therefore, it is a strikeout. So Kirk Gibson goes down on strikes. And nothing doing for the Tigers in the top of the first. We go to the bottom of the first. Tigers nothing, and the Padres coming to bat. And due up for the Padres, leading things off, will be speedster Alan Wiggins. And he will be facing the ace of the Tiger staff, Jack Morris. So it is Wiggins against Morris. So we'll see what... And Wiggins I've rated as a semi-scrapper and semi-patient. Morris I've rated as a semi-star, semi-flash, and semi-control. So we'll see what Wiggins can do against Morris. And the roll is 5-6-6. 5-6-6 asks, is Morris wild? No, he's not. Does Wiggins have a good eye? No, he does not. Therefore, it is a strikeout. Strikeout. Wiggins is out on strikes. The result is in blue. So that means we'll go to the right now chart for Tony Gwynn's at bat. So Tony Gwynn will come up and bat off the right now chart. And since Morris just struck out Wiggins, that now means that he is semi-hot. Semi-hot. And Gwynn is neutral because he hasn't had an at-bat yet. So we'll see what happens here. Roll two dice plus the decider die. And the roll is a 6, or a 5-1, I should say. 1-5, I'm sorry, 1-5. Cold batter is asked for the cold batter. He is not a cold batter. So his batter pounces on pitch for single through the shortstop. So since Gwynn was not a cold batter, he singles past Trammell for the first hit of the ball game for the Padres. And that'll bring up Steve Garvey. Steve Garvey is up with 1 on and 1 out. So Garvey steps up, and the delivery is a 5-6-6. 5-6-6. We've had that roll just a little bit ago. Again, Morris is not wild. Garvey does not have a good eye, so he strikes out, and we go to the right now chart. So deja vu all over again, as Yogi once said. We're going to the blue rating for Greg Nettles at bat. And Morris again is semi-hot. Nettles is neutral. So we'll see what happens here with the roll of the 2 die and the decider. So let's see what happens. It is a 1-2. 1-2 asks if it's a hot batter. No, he's not. Says it's a ground ball to short. So grounder to short by Nettles. Ends the inning. Nothing doing for the Padres in the first. And after 1 complete from Jack Murphy, it is Detroit nothing and San Diego nothing. Okay, due up for the Tigers in the second will be the middle of the order. Lance Parrish, Larry Herndon, and Barbaro Garvey. So Lance Parrish to lead things off. And the roll is a 1-3-3. And as a 1-3-3, we will see what happens here on a 1-3-3. It is blank, so that means we're checking the sameness, but Parrish is right-handed, Thurman is left-handed, so therefore there is no check on that. That's going to be a blank that we're going to skip. And the next result, it asks, is he a slugger? He is not a slugger. He's a home run king, but he's not a slugger. So we skip that result. And that means it's a fly out to left field. So Parrish flies out to left for out number 1. And that will bring up the left fielder, Larry Herndon. Larry Herndon steps up. Larry Herndon. And the roll is a 1-2-6. 1-2-6 asks, is the pitcher fresh? Thurman is, because we're just in the second inning, so it's a line out to second base. So Herndon lines to Wiggins for out number 2. Quickly 2 away, and Barbaro Garvey, the designated hitter, steps up for the Tigers. And there's the roll. It is a 3-5-6. 3-5-6. That's the one we're going for the same, but Garvey is right-handed, so that's not going to be an effect. That's going to get skipped. And now we go to the next result, which is utility or sad sack. Garvey is neither one of those. Therefore, he singles down the third base line. So Barbaro Garvey with a single, 2-out single down the third base line. He will stop at first. And with 2 outs, that'll bring up Chet Lemon. Chet Lemon will bat with 2 outs and Garvey at first. Lemon is a 1-3-5, which is the unusual results chart. Unusual results. Now, the pitcher part on that is blank, but we have a right-handed hitter against a left-handed batter, so that's not going to counteract the unusual results chart in this play. So the unusual results chart, we look at what the number 1 die is, what color, and it's blue, which means we are looking at the umpire. So we're going to go to the umpire chart with a runner at first base. And that's what we're going to be rolling against. Umpire chart, runner on first base. So here is the roll. It's a 1-2. 1-2 asks, is it a strict umpire at second base? If we go up to second base, Bruce Fleming is lenient, so that's not the case. It says if he was, he would rule runner out at second base, batter out at first, double play. Otherwise, umpire rules runner safe, but the batter's out. So that's the third out. So Lemon is out. I'm going to go ahead and call it 4-3, I guess. It doesn't really tell you in the description how he's out. It just says he's out. It's meant to be a fielder's choice, I guess, when there's less than 2 outs. But in this case, there are 2 outs, or there were 2 outs. So anyway, we go on to the bottom of the second. It'll be, for the Padres, it'll be the middle of the order. Kennedy, Brown, and Martinez due up. So Terry Kennedy steps up. And let's see what he can do here to start the second. Kennedy, 2-2-4. 2-2-4 for Kennedy. Pitching at home. Nope, Jack Morris is not pitching at home. Slugger, is Kennedy a slugger? He's a semi-slugger, but the decider die says no. All right, so it's a single to right field for Kennedy, and that's in blue. So again, we're going to the right now chart. Right now chart. And now Morris is semi-cold because he just gave up that base hit. And Bobby Brown, the batter, is neutral because he has not had an at-bat yet. So Bobby Brown will be up to face Jack Morris. Remember, Jack Morris is semi-cold. Here's the findings. It's 1-1. 1-1 says cold pitcher. Semi-cold pitcher. Decider die says he is a cold pitcher. Serves up gopher ball launched by batter to right field fence. So now we have to go to the fence chart to see if what is taking place here. And Bobby Brown is considered a semi-scrapper, so we're going to use the scrapper. And it's a 1 through 6 roll here under the scrapper column. So we'll see what happens here. Because Bobby Brown is a semi-scrapper and the decider die says he was a scrapper. So here we go. It's a 1. That's a base hit. That's just a single. That is merely a single. And the single says that, let's see here, 1-1, runners advance 1 base on a hit. So Kennedy only goes to second base on that hit by Bobby Brown. And so Morris is fortunate that Brown was a scrapper on this at bat, and that kept it from being worse. It could have been a double had he been a little bit more proficient with the power, and that may have scored Kennedy. We don't know. But next, that'll bring up Carmelo Martinez, the left fielder. So Carmelo Martinez will step up to the plate, and we'll see what he can do. And the roll is a 1-3-4. 1-3-4 for Martinez says 1-3-4 asks us the gold catcher. Gold catcher. Well, Lance Parrish, and again, these are subjective ratings that I was trying to use based on baseballreference.com. with his defense was the hardest part for me to rate. I rated him as neutral, so he is not a gold catcher. So we move on to the next round. 1, 3, 4. Ask, is the batter a champion? Carmelo Martinez is not a champion. Therefore, we have outfield drama. So outfield drama will take place. And again, we have 2 runners on base with nobody out. And the outfield drama says 2-4. 2-4 says center fielder gold. Chet Lemon I did rate as a gold center fielder. So center fielder is gold in this case. Sensational diving catch, a fly out. Otherwise, the ball slips through for a base hit single. So, a fly out. And in that case, the fly out is in purple, so we're going to the chemistry chart for the next at bat. We'll be using team chemistry. So Lemon saved Morris a potential run there with a nice catch on Martinez. 1 down. And now Templeton will be batting. And all the players, both teams are neutral as far as the chemistry goes. So we'll see what happens here. Decide or die. So there we go. 1-4. 1-4 batting team dissonance. No, they're not dissonant. So it's a single. So it is a single. Runners advance 1 base on hit. So the bases are now loaded. So Templeton with the single. And the bases are juiced. Now for designated hitter Kirk Bavacqua. So Bavacqua, we'll see what he can do. As he is stepping to the plate. Bavacqua. And the pitch. It is a 3-4-5. 3-4-5. And the 3-4-5 says iron catcher. No, he's not. He's neutral. Good eye. Does Bavacqua have a good eye? No, he does not. He's patient, but he doesn't have a good eye. So it's a strikeout. Strikeout for the second out. And that is in blue. So we're going to go to the right now chart for the next at bat. And that will be Alan Wiggins. And Jack Morris is now semi-hot since he struck out the last batter he faced. And Alan Wiggins, since he struck out his last time up, is semi-cold. So we've got semi-hot against semi-cold. So we will see what happens here with Wiggins. Rolls a 3-4 and asks about cold batter. He's semi-cold. Decide or die says he's cold. Weak dribble to pitcher. Batter slumps affects team. Side retired. Alternating ground outs or pop outs. Well, there was already 2 outs, so there's not any of the alternating outs. It's just simply a ground out to the pitcher. And they leave the bases loaded. So after 2 complete, it is Tigers nothing, Padres nothing. Okay, top of the third, bottom part of the order coming up. Darrell Evans, Marty Castillo, and then back to the top of the order, and Whitaker. But first things first, it is Darrell Evans, and he is the designated hot batter in this game, if it comes to that. And the pitch is a 1-3-5 again, which is the unusual play. However, 1-3-5 is blank. Darrell Evans is left-handed, and so is Mark Thurman. So that is going to be overridden for a strikeout by my lefty-righty rules that I like to use. So therefore, Darrell Evans is out on strikes, which is kind of a shame because I like those unusual plays, but we won't get to see it this time. That'll bring up Marty Castillo. Castillo, the batter. And that's a 1-3-6. 1-3-6 asks, is Thurman an ace? He is an ace. Therefore, it is a strikeout. It is a strikeout. Now, there is the little good eye thing there that would avoid the strikeout, but Castillo is actually a whiffer and semi-eager, so he is unable to thwart the strikeout by Thurman. Thurman picks up his strikeout there, and that already is 4 strikeouts for Mark Thurman. 2 of those came on the adjusted left-right splits. So that's having an impact on this for sure. Here's Lou Whitaker. He struck out his first time up on that lefty-righty thing. So let's see what happens. Or maybe Gibson, I'm not sure. It's one of the two. So let's see here. It is a 2-4-6 and a 2-4-6. Asks, does the pitcher have control? He does. He does have control. Therefore, it's a ground out to the pitcher. So Whitaker grounds out to Thurman for the third out. Nothing doing for the Tigers in the top of the third. We go to the bottom of the third, still no score. And we start off the Padres' bottom of the third with the 2-3-4 hitters of Gwynn, Garvey, and Nettles. So Tony Gwynn is up to face Jack Morris. And the delivery is a 4-6-6. 4-6-6 asks, is the pitcher wild? No, he actually is semi-control. Is he a home run king or slugger? Tony Gwynn is a semi-slugger, but the decider die says no. So nothing there. But it is a single to left. Single to left and active steals. Gwynn is semi-active, but decider die says he's not stealing. So Gwynn simply singles to start the inning. No stolen base, thanks to the decider die. And actually, the decider die cost him a home run. No, I'm sorry, cost him a strikeout. So he didn't strike out because of the fact that he was not a home run king or slugger. So the decider die saved him on that. So now Steve Garvey is up with Gwynn at first. And he is listed as a hero and eager. That's the only two batting qualities I've given him. So here is the pitch. It is a 1-2-6 and a 1-2-6. Ask, is Morris fresh? Yes, he is. We're only in the bottom of the third, so he hasn't pitched 3 full innings yet. He is fresh. And even if he's semi-fresh, the decider die would say he was still fresh. So therefore, it's a line out to Lou Whitaker at second base for 1 away. And that will bring up Greg Nettles. So Greg Nettles is up. Nettles, the batter, and the pitch. And it is a 5-5-6. 5-5-6. Ask, is Morris an ace? No, he's not. It asks, is Nettles a sad sack? No, he's not. So it's a double to right field. So Nettles doubles to right field. And we'll check everything else that's going on with this. The other symbols that are there. And it says, let's see here, runners advance 2 base on any hit, single or double. Stoic runner on third base holds and fly out. Stoic runner on first base advances on second base on any single, third base. All right, so it doesn't say anything here about the runner scoring. It just says he advances 2 bases on any hit, be it a single or a double. So therefore, and that's what the lead die of, oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry. What did I do here? Wild, good eye. Okay. 5-5-6. Now I've got it. 5-5-6. Okay, a lead die of 5. Don't know why I'm not seeing this. Oh, here we go. Lead die. If I was in the wrong column, I'm sorry. Runner advances 2 bases on singles, scores on double. So actually, it does score a run. I'm sorry, I was in the wrong column. I was looking at the lead die of 3, not the lead die of 5. My bad. Gwynn will score on the Nettles double, and the Padres take a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the third, and that'll bring up Terry Kennedy. Terry Kennedy. I'm sorry about that, folks. Got a little confused there. That can happen from time to time if you misread something. So next up is Terry Kennedy, and the pitch is a 3-4-4. Terry Kennedy asks, is the pitcher a prospect? No, he's not. Is the batter patient? 3-4-4. He is actually semi-eager, so he's not patient. So he pops out to second base. So Kennedy pops it up to Whitaker for out number 2. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Bobby Brown. Nettles still at second base with 2 outs. Brown, the at-bat, is a 4-5-5. So the Padres are going to see what Brown can do for them. 4-5-5. Ask, does Morris have the flash quality? He has semi-flash. Decider die says no. Is Brown a home run king? I don't think so. He's actually a semi-scrapper. So therefore he grounds to first base. So Brown grounds to Evans at first to end the inning. But the Padres break through for a run on the Nettles double. And after 3 complete from Jack Murphy, it is the Padres 1 and the Tigers nothing. All right, top of the 4th will be Trammell, Gibson, and Parrish. So Trammell stepping to the plate. And it's a 1-3-5 again. Another unusual play, unusual result. And since Trammell is a right-handed hitter and Thurman's a left-handed pitcher, the lefty-righty will not cancel that effect. We will go ahead and use that. The blue die is a 1. I'm sorry, the 1 is a blue die, so that means we're going to check the umpire chart. The bases are empty as he's leading off the inning, so we will roll on the bases empty chart for the umpire check. And here it is. It is a 3-3. 3-3 asks, is it a strict umpire at third? Rich Garcia is a strict umpire at third, so that's what we will go with. It says, hooking liner down third baseline ruled foul. Other umpires ruled fair ball double. So that's a foul ball. Rich Garcia was strict about that. And Trammell's going to have to come back to the batter's box and try again. He does not get the double that a non-strict umpire would have called. So Rich Garcia had an effect there. Now here's Trammell. We'll try it again. It's a 3-3-6. 3-3-6 asks, is Thurman an H? Yes, he is. It's a fly to center. So Trammell, fly ball to center, is 1 away. And that will bring up Kirk Gibson. Kirk Gibson, it's a 3-3-5 for Gibson. 3-3-5 asks, is Thurman wild? No, he's not. Is Gibson a sad sack? No, he's not. So it's a single down the right field line and a stolen base. Since he's not Stoic, Stoic would have to hold. But Gibson is actually active. So Gibson singles and steals second base. So he is in scoring position now with 1 out. And that'll bring up Lance Parrish. So Lance Parrish is up with Gibson the tying run in scoring position. Here's Parrish. It is a 1-5-5. 1-5-5 is blank. So we go to the lefty-righty check, but Parrish is right-handed, so we're going to skip that since Thurman's left-handed. They're not the same. So we go to the next check, which says home run king. And Parrish is a home run king. So therefore, he is at a home run to center field. So Lance Parrish, with a 2-run shot, has put the Tigers ahead 2-1 here in the 4th inning. So Lance Parrish, being the home run king he is, puts the Tigers in front by the score of 2-1. So Thurman had to shake that off. And it'll be Larry Herndon, the batter, or to face Thurman. So Herndon. And Herndon, 1-2-6. 1-2-6 asks, is Thurman fresh? He's semi-fresh. Decider die says he's not fresh, so we skip that. Is Herndon a sad sack? No, he's not. It's a single past second base for Herndon. So he singles, and it's in blue, so we go to the right now chart. And right now, Thurman is pretty cold. So Thurman is a cold pitcher. And Herndon in his last at bat, Garvey in his last at bat, because he's at bat now. Garvey in his first at bat got a base hit, so he's actually semi-hot. So we got a semi-hot batter against a pretty cold pitcher, and now Dick Williams might be wanting to use the. Dick Williams is going to use the Pep Talk chart, Pep Talk manager strategy card. And that improves the right now for this at-bat, so a cold player becomes neutral. So therefore now Mark Thurman is now neutral. He's not cold or semi-cold. He is neutral. Garvey is semi-hot. So at least it takes the cold pitcher out of the equation. Here is Garvey. It is a 1-3. 1-3 says cold pitcher. No, he's not, because of what Dick Williams just did. Had he been cold, it would have been a single to center field. Otherwise, batter lines out to shallow center. So Dick Williams was a good use of that strategy card. to record out number 2 and keep Thurman from having any more issues. And now that'll bring up Chet Lemon with 2 outs and Herndon at first. Chet Lemon, the batter. Chet Lemon. We'll see what Lemon can do. Pitch is a 1-4-4 for Chet Lemon. A 1-4-4. Ask, does the pitcher have flash quality? He does, because he's double flash. And there's a pair of glasses right next to it. Pair of glasses on a 1-4-5. 1-4-4, I'm sorry. It says questionable or lenient umpire calls ball 4. So Doug Harvey at home plate is not questionable or lenient. He's actually respected and semi-strict. So the strikeout stands. Strikeout stands. Lemon is gone. And that's the inning here in the 4th. But the Tigers take the lead on the 2-run home run by Lance Parrish. And after 3.5 innings, it is the Tigers 2 and the Padres 1. Okay, bottom of the 4th, it'll be Carmelo Martinez, Gary Templeton, and Kirk Gibson, the bottom 3 of the Padre order, against a rejuvenated Jack Morris now that he has the lead. Here's the pitch. It is a 3-5-6. 3-5-6, asking, is it the same? And it is. Carmelo Martinez is right-handed. Jack Morris is right-handed. Therefore, it is a strikeout. So Carmelo is down. He's not very mellow right now. That'll bring up Gary Templeton. Pitch is a 5-5-6. 5-5-6. Ask, is Morris an ace? He is not. It asks, is Templeton a sad sack? No, he's not. So it's a double to right field for Gary Templeton. A double to right. 1-out double for Templeton. And it says active steals, but he is not active, so he's not going to steal third. So Templeton doubles, and that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Kirk Gibson, the chance to tie the ball game. Here is the pitch. It is a 1-1-5. A 1-1-5. Ask, is Morris fresh? He's semi-fresh. Decider die says he's not fresh. 1-1-5. Home run king or sad sack is a strikeout. Bavak was a semi-sad sack, but the Sire die says no. So we move on to the last result. It's a double to left field. So back-to-back doubles. Bavakwa has doubled in Templeton, and we now have a tie ball game thanks to the double by Bavakwa. We are tied at 2 now with still only 1 out. And back to our top of our order, Tony Gwynn. 2-2 ball game here in the 4th. Here is Gwynn. It is a 2-4-6. 2-4-6. Ask, does Morris have control? He's got semi-control. And Sire Die says he does have control. Therefore, it's a ground out to the pitcher. And the ground out to the pitcher with a lead die of 2 is a fielder's choice. Let's see here. Fielder's choice. So that means the runner advances to third base. So Morris gets... actually, it should be Wiggins, not Gwynn. My bad. It was actually Wiggins that made the out, not Gwynn. So Wiggins, where are you? Wiggins didn't fall into any of the categories that would make it a different result. So he is out at first base for the second out. And Bavakwa moved up to third for out number 2. And that'll bring up Tony Gwynn now. So Tony Gwynn with 2 outs and Bavakwa at third. And here is the pitch. It's a 1-2-5. 1-2-5 says, is the pitcher a struggler? No, he's not. Is the batter patient? Tony Gwynn is not patient, but he does have a good eye, but it's not patient, so we skip that result. It's a ground out to third base. So ground out to third base ends the inning. But the Padres do push across a run to tie the score, and after 4 complete from Jack Murphy, it's the Tigers 2 and the Padres 2. Okay, guys, to shorten this video a little bit, I went ahead and played innings 5 and 6 out of camera. And the Padres in the bottom of the 6th just scored a run to take the lead 3-2. Basically what happened is Bavakwa singled, Wiggins walked, And then Tony Gwynn got a single where the runners advanced 2 bases. So Bavacqua scored. But then Garvey hit into a 6-4-3 double play to end the rally at that point. And we stand right now, Padres 3, Tigers 2 as we start the 7th. And for the Tigers, it'll be Barbaro, Garvey, Chet Lemon, and Darrell Evans due up against Mark Thurman, who's still in there. And here's the pitch to Garvey. It is a 1-4-6. 1-4-6. Ask, does the pitcher have flash? Yes, he does. Therefore, it is a strikeout because Garvey is not a good eye. So, Garvey down on strikes. And Thurman has been racking up the strikeouts in this game. That'll bring up Chet Lemon. Chet Lemon. And Lemon rolls a 3-4-5. 3-4-5. Ask, is it an iron catcher? Is Terry Kennedy iron? No, he's neutral. It asks, does the batter have a good eye? Good eye for Chet Lemon. No, he's actually a semi-whiffer. So, and he's not really eager, but it's a semi-whiffer. So he strikes out. 3-4-5 is in blue. It's a blue strikeout. Yet another strikeout for Thurman. And we go to the right now chart. Right now chart with Darrell Evans. And Evans grounded out his last time up. So he's really neutral because it wasn't a strikeout involved. So he's neutral. And Thurman is semi-hot because of the fact he struck out the last 2 batters. So that'll bring up Evans to see what he can do with 2 outs and the base is empty. With no one on base, not going to waste a manager card on this. And the roll is a 2-6. 2-6 on the right now charts asks it's a hot pitcher, and it is. It says the overpowers batter with best pitch. It's a strikeout. So Thurman, with yet another strikeout, he strikes out the side here in the 7th. And we go to the 7th inning stretch with the score, Padres 3, Tigers 2. Okay, bottom of the 7th, and it'll be Kennedy, Brown, and Martinez to face Morris. And Greg Nettles. I'm sorry, it'll be Greg Nettles, Kennedy, and Brown. Nettles, Kennedy, and Brown because Garvey made the last out on the double play. So it is Greg Nettles to face Jack Morris. And the pitch is a 2-3-3. 2-3-3 is an ace or a star. Morris is a semi-star. Decider die says he's not a star. So we go to the next check, and that is slugger. Is Nettles a slugger? He's a semi-slugger. Decider die says no. Therefore, it is a fly out to center field. So Nettles flies to Chet Lemon, 1 away. And now we'll bring up Terry Kennedy. Terry Kennedy reached on a Trammell error his last time up, although it did not produce a run. That was in the 5th. And here's a 1-5-5. A 1-5-5 is the pitcher's blank, but the batter is not the same as the pitcher as far as handedness go. Kennedy's a lefty, Morris a righty, so that's not going to be a strikeout. That's going to be left blank. And the next 1-5-5 check is a home run king. And Kennedy is a home run king, semi-home run king, I should say. Decider die says he is a home run king. So therefore, it's a home run to center field for Terry Kennedy. So Kennedy cracks one to center field over the bleachers, or over the center field fence. And now the Padres lead it 4-2. 4-2. And now the Tiger bullpen has gotten loosened. And Aurelio Lopez is warming up in the Tiger bullpen. So we'll see what happens here as Bobby Brown is up. Brown, 3-5-5. Struggler, is he a struggler? He is not a struggler. Let's see here. He might be. It's hard. I don't remember the rules on what you give up to be a struggler. I'm not sure if you give up a home run, whether that makes you a struggler in your next at bat. I apologize for that. I don't think he's a struggler in this case. So I'm going to go to the next chart, which is a champion, which Brown is not. And therefore, it's a ground ball to second base, unless he's a whiffer, which Brown is. In this case, it's a strikeout. So I may have very well done that incorrectly, and I apologize if that's the case. But I'm keeping the rules same for both teams, so there's no unfairness there. That's the way I interpret that particular ruling. I don't, like I said, I don't get to play History Maker as much as I'd like, so sometimes I forget some of these idiosyncrasies. So anyway, I've got Brown striking out since he is a whiffer, and that'll bring up Carmelo Martinez with 2 outs and the base is empty. And that is a all fours, 4-4-4, and it's a blank spot. And in this case, it is a righty versus a righty, so Carmelo Martinez goes down on strikes. That is my lefty-righty matchup rule that I've instituted as a homebrew rule. And for the Padres, they pick up that run on Kennedy's home run. And at the end of 7, it is the Padres 4 and the Tigers 2. Okay, top of the 8th for the Tigers, it'll be Marty Castillo, and then back to the top of the order, Whitaker and Trammell. And if anybody gets on, Gibson. And we're going to have a new pitcher for the Padres. It's going to be left-hander Craig Lefferts coming in from the bullpen. He is their designated 8th inning guy. And as we look at the numbers on Thurman, he pitched 7 innings, gave up 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned. And they were on the 2-run home run by Parrish in the 4th inning. And he struck out 11 without walking anyone. So he got a lot of strikeouts. Not just with the lefty-righty enhancement that I have, but also with just some of the other right now chart and roles that occurred in the game. So Marty Castillo now will bat against the new pitcher Craig Lefferts. So we'll see what Castillo can do. And remember, Craig Lefferts is an ace facing his first batter. He's already an ace, so now in this bat he's a double ace. So it's 2-3-6, and a 2-3-6 asks, does he have double control? No, he does not. He has control, but not double control. So the next check is pitcher batting. No. So does a walk. So Marty Castillo leads off the top of the 8th with a walk. So Castillo walks, and that will flip the order back to the top of the order, and Lou Whitaker. It is a lefty-on-lefty matchup again. So we'll see what Lefferts can do. And Gossage is warming in the bullpen in case Lefferts struggles. And that was a bad roll out of my realm of the dice tray, so I consider that a foul ball. So while I go pick up that wayward die, we'll come back and get this roll done for Lou Whitaker. Okay, we're back. One thing about doing these live videos on the phone here, there is no editing. So everything's live, everything's as it happens, and sometimes the die can stick to my finger and I can miss the tray. You would think it would be easy to hit this tray as close as it is, but it happens once in a while. So with that in mind, Lou Whitaker will now have his official bat against Craig Lefferts. And that is a 1-3-4. 1-3-4 is gold catcher. Kennedy is not a gold catcher, he's neutral. The next check is a champion, and Lou Whitaker is not a champion. So we skip over to outfield drama. So we've got outfield drama. Outfield drama. So we go to the 2 die and the outfield drama chart. Runner on first base. So here is the outfield drama roll. It's a 2-3. So 2-3 on outfield drama says center fielder iron. Is Bobby Brown an iron fielder in center? And I had rated Bobby Brown as a, let's see here, how did I rate him? Get my cards together here. Bobby Brown I rated as a neutral fielder, so he is not an iron fielder. So the next check after that says it's an easy fly out. It would have been an error had he been an iron fielder, but it's a fly out. So Whitaker flies to Bobby Brown in center. 1 away. The reason I'm having trouble with these cards that I made for these players is I printed them on standard printing paper. Did not print them on the cardstock I normally do. So they're a little flimsy, and like I said, it's just something I'm trying out. So I may go back and print these on the cardstock eventually. Right now, Alan Trammell is up with 1 out and Castillo at first base. Trammell steps up, 3-4-5. So Trammell on a 3-4-5. The 3-4-5 result is asking, is it an iron catcher? No. Does Trammell have a good eye? No, he does not. So it's a strikeout. Strikeout of Trammell for out number 2. It's in blue. So we go to the right now chart for the Kirk Gibson at bat. Now Kirk Gibson is the designated cold batter. So he is already going to be cold because he's a designated cold batter, and plus the fact that he struck out his last time up, and he struck out in the 5th inning, so it's not just a semi-cold, it's a regular cold as far as I remember the rules. And Lefferts is going to be semi-hot because he just struck out Trammell. So we've got a cold batter against a semi-cold pitcher, but wait just a minute, and Sparky Anderson is coming out, and he's going to change that cold player to a neutral player. So Gibson, use of the manager card, is going to now be neutral. Gibson is neutral. Lefferts is semi-hot. Here's the pitch, where the result is a 1-6. 1-6 is hot pitcher, and he is a hot pitcher because the side or die says he is. Fool's batter into swinging it outside pitch, easy ground ball to short. And an easy ground ball to short is actually going to be a double play. Or it would have been a double play, but there's already 2 outs, so it's just a 6-3 ground out to end the inning. So nothing doing for the Tigers in the 8th. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's still Padres 4, Tigers 2. Okay, bottom of the 8th, it'll be Templeton, Bavacqua, and Wiggins. And the new Tiger pitcher is going to be Aurelio Lopez, right-hander. Closed the book on Morris. He pitched 7 innings, gave up 12 hits. He scattered 12 hits, gave up 4 runs, walked 1, struck out 9. So there's been 21 strikeouts in this game so far. It's been a heavy-laden strikeout game, but there's also been a couple of home runs. So both sides getting covered here. Gary Templeton to lead it off against Aurelio Lopez. It is a 5.56. And the 5.56 says, is he wild? No, he's got semi-control. Does Templeton have a good eye? No, he's semi-eager. It's a strikeout. Yet another strikeout. Templeton is out on strikes, and we go to the right now chart because that was in blue. So now we go to the right now chart for Bavacqua and Lopez. Bavacqua and Lopez. So Lopez is semi-hot with that strikeout. And Bavacqua is a hot batter. He was the designated hot batter to begin with. He's also doubled and singled in his last 2 at-bats. So he's a hot batter against a semi-hot pitcher of Aurelio Lopez. And here is the pitch. It is a 4.6. Ask, is it a hot pitcher? No, he's not a hot pitcher. He's semi-hot. Desire die says no. Otherwise, pitcher ground out to pitcher with only play at first base. So instead of a strikeout, it's a ground ball back to the pitcher for out number 2. So it's an out, just not a strikeout. And that'll go back to the top of the order now for Alan Wiggins. Alan Wiggins is up. Wiggins is 0 for 3 with a walk. And it's a 1-2-3 result for Wiggins. 1-2-3 says both flash and fresh. He's fresh, but he's semi-flash. Decider die says he's not. So we skip that result. The batter one is blank. And if I'm going to keep my tradition of the right-righty, I'm not even going to go to the next one. I'm going to go to the righty on righty. But actually Wiggins is a switch hitter, so we've passed that too. So I'm not going to be able to use that. I'm going to keep that blank. It's a ground ball to short to end the inning, 6-3. Got a little carried away there trying to fill those blanks in with the same role, but this time Wiggins, being a switch hitter, bypassed that. Okay, nothing doing for the Padres in the 8th. At the end of 8, it's the Padres 4 and the Tigers 2. Okay, top of the 9th, last chance for the Tigers. It's Parrish, Herndon, and Garvey, the scheduled hitters. New Padre pitcher is closer Rich Gossage. He is a star pitcher, but in this first at bat, he is actually an ace also. And he'll be facing the catcher, Lance Parrish. So we'll see what Parrish can do. And the roll is a 3-4-6. 3-4-6 is blank. So the lefty-righty splits come into play again. And it's a righty on righty. So Gossage gets Parrish on the strikeout. So 1 away. And that will bring up Larry Herndon. However, with the left-handed starter for the Padres, that kept a lot of their left-handed bats on the bench. So we're going to the bench to get some support here. And pinch hitting for Larry Herndon will be Johnny Grubb. So Johnny Grubb, the left-hander, will pinch hit for Herndon. So Grubb is up. Grubb is up. And here's the pitch. It is a 1-3-4. A 1-3-4. Asks, is it a goal catcher? No. Is Grubb a champion? No, he's not a champion. It's outfield drama. So we're going to outfield drama. Outfield drama. And the roll is a 3-6 on outfield drama. It asks, is a left fielder stoic? Is a left fielder Carmelo Martinez, is he stoic? And Carmelo Martinez, we check on Mr. Martinez and get his rating. We will see that he is stoic. So Carmelo Martinez is stoic. So as part of the outfield drama, stoic outfielder, ball gets past him for a single. So Grubb gets a pinch hit single for Herndon thanks to the fact that Martinez is stoic. So now there is a runner on with one out. Barbaro Garvey is the next scheduled hitter, but he will not hit. He will be pinch hit for by left-handed hitting Rupert Jones, former Padre Rupert Jones. So Rupert Jones is going to pinch hit against Gossage. Tying run at the plate. Here's the pitch. It is a 2-4-5. 2-4-5. 2-4-5 is blank. But we don't have the strikeout because we have a lefty batter against a righty pitcher. So we move to the next line and ask, is it a hero? Rupert Jones just happens to be rated a hero. So since he's a hero, it's a single to left. Single to left. Runners advance one base on the single. So both pinch hitters manage to get base hits. Now the tying runs are at first and second base. And that'll bring up Chet Lemon. So Chet Lemon is up to see what he can do against Gossage. One out. And here is Lemon. It's a 3-5-5. 3-5-5 asks, is Gossage a struggler? He is not a struggler, I don't think. He just gave up 2 hits, but not 3 in a row. So I don't believe he's a struggler. So we go to the champion and see if Lemon is a champion. He is not. It's a ground ball out to second base unless he's a whiffer. The rating on Lemon is a semi-whiffer. Decider Die says he is a whiffer. Therefore, it is a strikeout. So Lemon is out on strikes for out number 2. Padres 1 out away, but Darrell Evans, power hitter, stands in the way as he faces Gossage. So Evans against Gossage, the at-bat of the game. It is a 2-3-4. 2-3-4. Runners on base? Yes, there are. We have plate drama. So something's going to happen here on plate drama. Plate drama to decide it. Here is the roll. It is 2-4. Plate drama 2-4. Wild pitcher. No, he's not a wild pitcher. Otherwise, it's outside for a ball. It would have been a wild pitch had he been a wild pitcher, but Gossage actually has semi-control. It is a ball, so we're going to have to go, since the ball is in orange, we're going to go to the umpire chart for our next check, because that's what it's telling us to do. So the umpire chart is determined by who's on base, and we have runners at first and second, so we're going to check that umpire chart and give that a roll, and we'll see what happens. It's a 4-5. A 4-5 asks, is it a strict umpire at first base? Larry Barnett at first base is semi-strict. Decider Die says he is strict. Strict umpire at first. Batter out at first despite late throw. Other umpires call batter safe, but the strict umpire calls him out on a late throw. That's Don Denkinger reincarnated from the '85 series. And the ball game is over thanks to Larry Barnett. Evans grounds out, and the ball game's over. Final score from Jack Murphy. It is the Padres 4 and the Tigers 2. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed that. My little homebrew and my little lefty-righty thing. I may have to re-examine that because it did cause a lot of strikeouts. So it's something I might tweak a little bit later on. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. It was something a little bit different. And I'll see everybody down the road.